Hi, everybody. Welcome as we get your volleyball underway on a Tuesday. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage. Coastal Alabama South taking on the number one team in the conference at LBW, coming in with an 8-1 mark. And you might be going, well, wait a minute, there's another team with an 8-1 mark. Enterprise State. Well, if the two teams wind up tied, I believe the tiebreaker favors the Saints. Where Coastal South is concerned, still a chance. Granted, it is a tough road to hoe, but when you get into the last week of conference play, if you're still in the Garden, then I know that's a good thing. And Coastal South, as that will go off Baker, has got to win and then hope for a little help, and that's the situation you really don't want to get into at the end of the year, but at least there is hope. But the wins have got to be big. They've got to be over the current 1-4 teams, over LBW today, over Bishop State when they play on the 24th. Launched over by Sanders, able to get underneath is Bean, and there's your first Coastal South point. Taking a look at the starters for LBW. Ashlyn Watson, Kaylin Green, Ashlyn Kelly, Adeline Stewart, Elizabeth Bean, Brianna Smith. And you've got the libero, Reese Smith. Meanwhile, for Coastal South, Cameron Brown, Jennifer Shipman, Haley Baker, Brianna Sanders, Sarah Alleman, Rachel Wilson. And the libero, Sophie Sanchez, but has been the case all year long. Very early off the bench is Kinsley Martin. And Martin serving with an opportunity to tie the game up at 3 each. Drops it over, picked up by the libero Smith. Over to the corner. Sanchez able to get to the shot. And Pinker trying to flip it over and could not. Here's what's got to happen for Coastal South to get in to the Final Four and thus the tournament at the end of the year in Sand Mountain. They've got to beat LBW, and then they have got to, I believe, sweep Bishop State. I don't think you can have a 3-1 victory if you go 5 sets. And the tiebreaker favors Bishop State, and that is based on Bishop State losing to Enterprise State. If Bishop State doesn't lose to Enterprise State, then Coastal South can beat both and still not get in. Over goes to Alleman, drives it for the corner, blocked there by Watson. Over to the mid part of the floor, free ball sent over by Shipman. Over it goes to Kelly, nice block in the middle. Little two-handed shove over by Brown. And the Coyotes get to within 1 again. And serving is Sophie Sanchez, 12 aces this year, out of a total of 105 for South. The left-handed pump over by Watson. Serve back over to the other side of the floor. For the Saints, they have got to win today. They win today, they're the number 1 seed. No matter what happens to Enterprise State, if Enterprise State wins, trying to save it. Then is Stewart, she can. We've got a 1-point game again. Now, all of this unofficial, me looking at a tiebreaker scenario based on the tiebreaker information, but take it with a grain of salt. First touch from Molly Powell into the game. That will drop in front of the in-line. And LBW getting the serve back. It is Adeline Stewart, who is number 2 in the conference in kills, serving. She has delivered 20 aces this year out of a team total of 175. Martin first touch. Alleman pumps it over to Sanchez. Into the backcourt. They use a 2-libero system, and the current libero is Addie Dunnigan. Three-point LBW lead, matching their largest. These two teams met in Andalusia a little under a month ago, 30th of September. Rachel Wilson, a nice save by Sanchez. And the free ball sent over, back set. Kelly with a drive. Sanchez able to get there, mid part of the floor. Wilson. Molly Powell there. Bumped by Stewart and then driven off Sanchez. And the Saints with their biggest lead. But on that 30th of September in Andalusia, a sweep by the Saints. As a matter of fact, in 3-set matches, they are 10-0. They have not been swept this year. Their losses have come in 4-set matches. Those have been the problematic sets for the Saints. They are 5-4 in 4-set matches, and every one of their losses came in a 4-set outing. Sanchez, nice save, but it's shoved right back over by Kelly. And LBW taking a 6-point lead. When they played in Andalusia, Saints won at 25-10, 25-15, and 25-17. Over to Sanchez. Binkert bumps it over to Martin. Martin will drive it over to the mid part of the floor, and then Stewart going too long. And Haley Binkert will serve. 18 aces from Binkert. That's better than anybody else on the team. Drives it into the backcourt, picked up by Stewart. What a shot by Bean. And the Saints today, by the way, are playing without the services of Salome de Jesus. I don't know if she's injured, but she's not dressed out. And when you take de Jesus off the floor, you're removing 190 kills. That is third most on the team. Rachel Wilson with a serve. Well, here they've got it listed as a 12-6. I've got it as 11-6, but I'm sure they're right, and I'm wrong. That's kind of the norm. So we'll go to a 6-point advantage. Wilson sending it over. First touch, Stewart. Over to that left side, and Bean will drive it down the line. So the serve back over to the other side of the floor. Brianna Smith to serve. When these two teams met in Andalusia, Thompson kills with Shipman. That'll go into the net from Brianna Smith. Thompson kills for LBW. Was the lady that's not dressed out tonight. Salome de Jesus. Did it catch fingertips? It did, and goes out. And the Saints up by a touchdown. Well, I thought the official indicated it was on fingertips, so scratch it. Put it over to the other side of the board. 13-8. Brown with the serve. Underneath is Smith, the libero. A tip over by Green. Alleman drives it. That will go off the hands of Watson. Coastal South 4-6 here on their home floor. They are 2-1 on Tuesdays. This is their fourth match of the year that is played on a Tuesday. Sanchez, little tip over, able to get underneath is Smith. Driven into the backcourt by Bean. Back set. And there you've got the kill. On the attack goes Brianna Sanders. And the Coyotes get to within 3. Brown serving. Smith returning. Shoved over to the opposite side of the floor, and then it's driven cross-court but out by Alleman. Saints reclaim the serve. And it is Elizabeth Bean who will do the honors. 19 aces on the year. That is fourth most on the team. Shoved over by Sanders. It is bumped over to Watson, delivered by Binkert. Sanchez into the net. One more home game for Coastal Alabama South. That will happen a week from tomorrow. Here on this floor, Sanchez trying to return the serve of Bean. And that'll do it for the year as far as regular season play is concerned. We will be off to Sand Mountain for the ACCC tournament. In the North, we already know the 4 teams there. We don't know in what specific order yet, although got a pretty good idea. Over to Alleman. Sent into the backcourt by Sanchez, retrieved by Bean. And then driven over by Green. But some things could change the last week of conference play in the North. But right now, looks like Wallace Hansville 1, Calhoun 2. Where there could be a swap from what exists now and what could be is 3 and 4. Off Alleman and out of bounds. And you got a timeout on the floor. It is asked for by the Coyotes. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Perhaps got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Eight-point St. Lean opening set of this one. And we were talking about the North and where you might see a change. Southern Union is currently 3 and Snead State 4, but Snead State has one conference match left against Bevel State, which is not in the top 4. And Southern Union's got 2 conference matches left, and they are both against Wallace Hansville. So a good possibility in the North. Wallace Hansville goes 1, Calhoun 2, and Southern Union, because of that doubleheader against the Lions, could move to the 4 spot. Sent over by Brown, got the set to the mid part of the floor, and is driven over by Bean. Over to Alleman. Alleman will drive it. Picked up on the opposite side by Smith. Wow, what a drive. Over on that right side. And that was Jennifer Shipman. Kinsley Martin checking into the lineup to serve. Binkert coming out of the game. Checking into the lineup, Andrea Foster. Over to make the block, you've got Alleman and Shipman. And already for Coastal South, a better showing here in set 1 than in Andalusia. Kinsley Martin again serving, 17 aces on the year. Second most on the team That's an error, though, goes long. I mentioned the two libero system. This is the second of the two. A rotation. Addie Dunnigan over Shipman. Shipman trying to send it cross court, goes long. And Dunnigan will serve. 11 aces this year for Dunnigan. When you look at the numbers between the two liberos, Smith obviously more playing time. She's appeared in 79 sets, 22 matches. Dunnigan 48 sets, and in 20 matches. Over goes to Shipman, running shot over, and blocked right back across. Saints up by double digits, 2 away from wrapping up the opening set. Served again by Dunnigan. Shipman there first. Reset for Shipman. And she'll go wide. So the Saints at set point. Trying to win their 26th conference set, their 59th overall. That will go off of Watson. Coyotes not done yet. Wilson checking into the lineup. Sanchez will serve. Launched over, first touch by Stewart. Driven into the backcourt by Kelly. It is Wilson with a drive. It is blocked. Saints win the opening set. So we are done with one, and after one, Saints will win it. And for the Coyotes, thinking about a 4-set match with the number 1 team in the South Division of the ACCC.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
1 set in, Saints lead at 25-13. And obviously the Coyotes got to win some sets and got to win a match to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Here's what's coming up on JockJive this weekend. Football coming up on Friday night. Bayside Academy taking on T.R. Miller. Saturday, Georgia Military College and Snow College. Big ball game. Number 3 and 4 in the country in junior college football. Also, this weekend on both Saturday and Sunday, plenty of baseball. ABC Fall League from Ozark and the Showcase Series from Copiah Lincoln. And then a week from tomorrow, we're back here for the season finale. Coyotes and Pearl River. And it's all right here on JockJive. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our premium channel, our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. None of those are mandatory, all simply requested. Voluntary, ain't got to do it, but we sure would like for you to. As we get set number 2 underway, Saints serving, Brianna Smith doing the honors. First touch, Pinkert. Setting up Shipman, drives it over, able to get there is Smith. And then a left-handed swat by Mariah Gooden, turning into the first Saint point. So the opening set in Andalusia, 25-10 Saints. Opening set in Bay Minette, 25-13 Saints. Driven by Bean, but a nice save by Brown, and eventually it heads out of bounds and belongs to the Coyotes. So the Coyotes tie it up at 1, and your first server in every set, Kinsley Martin. Martin will launch it over. Got a back set, got that left-handed shot by Gooden. And the Saints claiming a 2-1 lead. Elizabeth Bean to serve. 19 aces on the year for the 160 hitting Bean. Setting up the mid part of the floor, and Sanchez will stick it into the net. Saints coming in, hitting 174 as a team. Coyotes .094 into the net from Alleman. And the Saints with a 3-point lead. Their only loss of the year to that Enterprise State. And they lost in 4. And then they beat Enterprise State in 4. And both Enterprise State and LBW, as you got a block there on the right side. At 8-1, if I'm understanding the tiebreaker correctly, though, LBW, if they win today and go to 9-1, and if Enterprise State knocks off Bishop State and goes to 9-1, then the Saints would be 1, Enterprise State would be 2. Off Brown and Sanchez. Saints with a 5-point lead. And Bean continuing to serve. Now the first of the tiebreakers, of course, head-to-head, but in head-to-head, LBW and Enterprise State, in that scenario, if you have both teams winning today, would have beaten the other. Over it goes to Pinker, drives it. That will go off Bean. Well, then you go to how badly did they beat the other team? If one team won in 4, the other team in 3, the team that won in 3 would be the top seed. But they both won in 4 sets. Sanchez with a little flick trying to get it right over the net, and it dropped right in front of the net. So then you got to go to the other tiebreaker. The other tiebreaker is taking the totals from the 2 sets, and the largest differential makes one team a higher seed than the other. And that's where the Saints have the advantage. Alleman able to squeeze it through the block. The Saints in their win, won by a differential of 19 points, all the sets combined. Enterprise State, in the match they won by 11, with all points added in the 4 various sets. Alleman will serve. First touch by Bean, driven over by Gooden. Wilson into the backcourt, Bean able to save it. Donegan retrieves it, and now you got the Coyotes drawing to within 2. So as it stands right now, LBW with the advantage to stay 1, Enterprise State 2. Coastal Alabama North 3, Bishop State 4. But if Bishop State knocks off Enterprise State, then North moves to 4, and Bishop State, if they beat Coastal South, would move to 3. So still some maneuvering here in the last week of conference play. Wilson tipping it over, and then it will pop the antenna off the hands of Brianna Smith. And the Coyotes draw to within 2. Haley Binkert with the serve. Got the back set, little tip over by Kelly. Next for South, Bishop State in Mobile. And that will happen on Thursday. Next for LBW, Friday at Calhoun. They're taking on Bevel and Southern Union. They wrap up their conference play tonight. Over it goes to Bean, and Bean drives it long. Coyotes back to within 2. Rachel Wilson with the serve. Nice dig by Donegan. Nice block by Shipman. And not able to get that set was Powell. And the Coyotes have drawn to within 1. Rachel Wilson again on the serve. Got the back set, got the drive over by Kelly. Interesting that both teams end their season against an out-of-state school, and it's the same school, Pearl River. LBW's last game, October 30th against Pearl River. Check that. Coastal South's last game is on the 30th against Pearl River. For LBW, it is an October 28th meeting with Pearl River. Coyotes draw to within 1. Brown into the corner, and is picked up by Little Barrow Smith. Over to Bean, and Bean off Sanchez. Brianna Smith serving, number 3 in the ACCC in aces per set. Sanchez first touch, but it takes a left turn on her. Saints with a 3-point lead. LBW's last loss was to Enterprise State nearly a month ago on the 25th of September. Saints building that lead to 4. And there's a timeout on the floor. It is asked for by the Coyotes.
It's the dreaded appointment. You've put it off long enough. You've run out of excuses. And now you've got to face your fears head on. Fortunately, there's someone there who won't hold your feelings against you. Somebody whose efforts instead will give you your best selfie smile. You'll thank her when it's over. Be somebody. Enroll in the Dental Assisting Program at Coastal Alabama Community College.
Coming out of the Coyote timeout, it is the serve provided by Smith. And LBW will expand that lead to 5. Smith again serving. A 179 hitter. And that'll go long. When you look at team statistics, LBW third in the conference in kills percent, 6 in hitting, 3 in assists percent, 4 in blocks, and 5 in aces and digs percent. Coyotes 11 in kills, assists, and blocks percent, 12 in hitting and service aces percent, and 9 in digs percent. Served up by Elizabeth Bean. Sanchez first touch. A little strong with the back set. Shipman able to reach back and punch it over. Gooden sending it across. Alleman blocked by Gooden. And Brown into the net. Elizabeth Bean serving again. Caught the top of the net. Nice job of digging it out by Pinker. Smith backs up, gives it to Bean, drives it over. Martin is there. Brown pumping it over to Shipman. To the mid part of the floor, and it is driven over by Jada Rogers. Rogers appearing in her 31st set, 18th match of the year. Bean again with a serve. Alleman into the backcourt. Bean's there. Setting up the left side and a Shipman block denying Stewart the attack. And the Saints with an 8-point lead. And Sanchez serving. Her forte digs more than any other Coyote by a good margin. About 80 more than the second best digger. 248 on the year for Sanchez. And she will serve again. Well, can you believe it? Basketball season about to get underway. Our first coverage right here, as a matter of fact. Right back over by Alleman, too strong with the first pass. We'll be here for Mobile's JV and the gentlemen of Coastal Alabama South on the 4th of November. Back over it goes to Stewart. And Stewart goes wide. Well, I am off on the score again. I would love to be able to blame it on somebody but me, but I'm the guy keeping the score. And obviously, I'm behind a little bit, and that is long and gets it even closer. Saints haven't called a timeout yet, but if the Coyotes get another point closer, they might. Sanchez again on the serve. Floated over to Stewart. Saints serving. Checking into the lineup to do so is Donegan. Donegan, the sophomore libero. Sanchez, first touch, back set. Alleman sends it over. Their first is good and shoved into the backcourt by Stewart, and she'll go long. Alleman with the serve. First touch, Donegan. Back set. Gooden drives. Blocked by Wilson. It'll bump over by Kelly. Setting on the mid part of the floor. Barkley will tip it over. Anita Barkley into the game for the Coyotes. Bean drives it. Sanchez, just in self-defense, put up the arms, but couldn't get an accurate pass on. And Molly Powell will serve. Launched over to Martin. Back set Ottoman over to Barkley. Barkley drives. Stewart blocks. And you had, was it 4 hits? Nope, an illegal lift. Barkley did not think that was designed for her. She thought it was for Wilson. And Wilson just wasn't sure. So Barkley at the last minute tries to tip it over. Wilson will drive it. Nice save by Bean. Martin able to get underneath. Over to Barkley, shoves it over. '17 game. Into the ball game comes Binker, and she will serve. Martin and Barkley off the floor. Also checking back in is Sanders for the Coyotes. Binkert on the serve into the backcourt to Donegan. Over goes to Stewart. Long pass. Wilson delivers. Donegan's there. And it's Bean with a drive. Alleman. And a little early with the set, or either a little early with a jump by Sanders. And the Saints 4 away from a set 2 win. Coyotes 8 away from tying it at 1 each. Back set to Wilson, into the backcourt, but long. Served up by Stewart. Alleman able to get to it. Into the backcourt by Brown. Able to retrieve it was Stewart. Rachel Wilson serving. LBW's 2 losses in Alabama were to Enterprise State and Sneed State. Their other 2 losses came out of the state. Wilson into the net to Santa Fe and Jones. Into the game is Gabby Bellamy. Bellamy has been in 19 matches, 51 cents. Has 10 aces on the year and serves it up. Brown first touch, setting up Sanders, and Sanders able to drive it off of Bellamy. You know Gabby's brothers would be, if she has any, the Bellamy brothers. I know that's not good, a good joke. I mean, and you probably don't know who the Bellamy brothers are, right? If you don't, you're young. Bellamy brothers, let your love flow like something or another. Sanchez with a dig. Over goes to Shipman. She'll drive. Little flick over by Smith. Able to return in Coyotes. What else do the Bellamy brothers have? If I said you had a beautiful body. Man, I'm trying to remember what else. They're from Florida. Still touring, blocked by Sanders. I don't think those Bellamy's and Gabby's Bellamy's are the same Bellamy's. Bumped over to Bean, drives it, picked up by Binkert. Over to Shipman, aiming for the corner, able to back up and retrieve Powell. Misfiring on the kill effort, Jada Rogers, and it's a 1-point game. Coyotes will ask for time. We'll take the break too and come right back.
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone. Because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. Here, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, Coyotes. That's the Pack. That's Coastal Alabama.
Got a 1-point ball game. Coastal Alabama South hanging on to slim postseason hopes. But those postseason hopes begin with a win today. You win today and you still got a chance. Lose today and that match against Bishop State on the 24th means absolutely nothing. From a postseason perspective, means something from a win-loss record. Means something for an individual statistic standpoint. Cameron Brown sending it over. Shoved over to Bean. Bean, nice dig out by Shipman. Brown able to get it inside the antenna. Then a two-handed shove, trying to get the pancake. Brown couldn't, and LBW is a point away from a set victory. Brianna Jones to serve. Into the backcourt to Sanchez. Brown bumps it over to Shipman. That's shoved right back over by Gooden. A little too strong with a Brown pass. And it is put right back over Saints now. Lead it 2 sets to none. So we've wrapped up 2. We're heading to the 3rd. And for the Coyotes, it's that scenario of the back against the wall. Got to have 3, 4, and 5 for a chance to get into the postseason. To hang on to those chances to get in. Set number 3 coming up.
When you're starting something new, it's never easy. You're going to make mistakes. You'll doubt yourself. But you're in a place that wants you to succeed, thrive. And soon, it will just start to feel right. Suddenly, you'll get it. Your fear will turn to confidence. First-time tasks become second nature. And what seemed impossible is right in front of your eyes. Because once the light bulb goes on, there's no turning back. You may wonder how you got here, and be glad you did. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
is the 7 guy. Right up the middle, base hit, back-to-back base hit. Starter with a double. The single from Cumbie coming to the plate and tagged down at home. Saints with a pair of wins, 25-13, 25-22. As we head into that decisive third set. And don't forget, Bayside Academy, T.R. Miller football on Friday. That is a huge ball game. We'll be there. Also some Friday night football from St. Michael's, Orange Beach, and St. Michael on Friday, too. Talking about huge, how about 3 and 4 in the country. Meeting Saturday night, Bulldogs and Snow College. We'll have that one for you a week from tomorrow. Pearl River and the Coyotes of Coastal Alabama South with the season finale at home. And, of course, this weekend, might as well mix in some baseball. ABC Fall League from Eagle Stadium in Ozark, and the Showcase Series Fall Ball at Copiah Lincoln in Mississippi. Last set, the Saints hope underway. The first of 3 more Coastal Alabama South hopes. 1-0 Saints lead, serving is Bean. Launches it over. Alleman first touch. Sanchez bombing it to Alleman into the backcourt to Bean. Got the back set. Kalia Jones now into the game, and Kalia, who has been in 8 matches and 13 sets, delivering from the right side. And Bean will serve again. Over to Binkert. Setting up the mid part of the floor. Alleman. Sent over by Jones. Brown. Over to Shipman, and Shipman will drive it off Smith. And that will snap that brief run of 2 for the Saints and get the Coyotes on the board. Into the game, Kinsley Martin. Got kinfolk up in Birmingham that are likely watching. So hello to Birmingham, Alabama this afternoon. Back set. Wow, what a play almost. Man, that was close. Martin able to dig it. Alleman got a hand on it, and then Shipman nearly sent it across. That's one of those that you feel like, dang, give him the point. It looks so good. But that's not the way to play the game. Cuba Wiggins into the game for the Saints. As it is served up by Kelly. Over to Shipman, and that will be off Bean. Sophie Sanchez on the serve. 12 aces, and there have been a few errors, and that's one of them. Okay, is it just me, or do Sophie Sanchez and Sarah Alleman look a whole lot alike? Maybe it's just the hairstyle, you know, with the braided ponytail down the back. But I think if they were both wearing 16 or 13, I could tell them apart. A little joust on the net, and that is won by the Coyotes. Cuba Wiggins getting into the net. And Sarah Alleman will serve. Floated over, no, not quite. Tried to, came up short. And the serve back over to the other side of the floor, Adeline Stewart. 233 kills on the year, leading the Saints. Wilson drives it. That'll go off Dunnigan, nearly got 2. Nearly rang the basket on the opposite end of the floor. Haley Binkert serving. Bankert, a freshman. Her first year here. Drives it over. Dunnigan there first. That is B. Who will shoot it across and then go a little bit long. Turn it into a 6-4 game. And into the lineup, Kara Snell. Snell, 13 matches, 17 cents. Well, that one came right over here into my lap. Well, okay, not literally in my lap, but it was right here. And missed everything, which is great. We like those kind of fastballs that miss all of the equipment. It just happened to go right through the right spots to miss tripod and table and computer. And you better believe these volleyballs have got some velocity on them. One of the first national tournaments we did, the guy I was working for got popped in the eye. It wasn't funny, but I mean, you know, it kind of was, but it wasn't. But he sported for about a week or two a black eye. I mean, there was some velocity on that shot. It's funny if it happens to the other guy, right? I mean, if he gets popped in the eye, turns around a black eye for a week and a half, oh, that's funny. Now, and if you get it, well, not as funny. Wilson blocked by Kelly. And you got a 10-4 ball game. Kara Snell serving, 3 aces this year for Snell. Floats it over to Sanchez. That is Brown launching it into the backcourt, picked up by Stewart. Wilson and Sanders there for the block. Turns it into a 10-5 game. Rachel Wilson will serve. Wilson with 16 aces on the year. 125 hitter. Appearing in 19 matches, 64 cents. Over goes to Bean, and that'll ricochet off Sanders. Brianna Smith on the serve. Coyotes 8 conference set wins and 20 conference set losses. Bean with the drive. Baker picks it up in the backcourt. Alleman with the back set. Brown sending it over. Smith is there. It is bumped over to Bean, and Bean will drive it off the fingertips of Brown. Brianna Smith serving again. Just cleared the net. Sanchez able to dig it out. Brown into the backcourt, spun around, but passing is Stewart. Driven over by Jones. Back over it goes to Shipman. And blocked by Kelly. And Brianna Smith will serve again. Well, the Coyotes trying to get to the 5th set now. And in 5 set matches, they are 2-2. Bankert able to drive it over and go long. Meanwhile, LBW trying to go to 11-0 when the matches have been swept. They have swept every match that has only consumed 3 games. Sanders able to drive it over, picked up and then dropped out of bounds by Smith. Serve over to Brown. Cameron Brown, 13 aces this year, 128 hitter. There have been 68 sets coming in. And those 68 sets mean that Brown, Sanchez are the only two Coyotes that have played in every set. Meanwhile, there's been 81 LBW sets. And nobody has been in every one of them. Highest number of sets for a Saint is 79. League goes to 10. Bumped over to Shipman, and Shipman will go long. Bean with the serve. Bump back over to Alleman. Alleman drives it into the backcourt. Bean's there. Setting up Stewart, who drives. Shipman. Dug out by Bean. That is Jones. Nice block. Shipman and Sanders. And don't forget the brand new JUCO Rush coming out tomorrow night. Myself and Mike Frazier talking junior college football. And the show premieres, I believe, at 9 o'clock tomorrow night on YouTube. So another reason to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Gives you access to something that's nothing but junior college football. Into the net with the Martin serve. And Ashlyn Kelly will serve. Here comes Gwen Wynn. Well, now she is going back to the bench. She came to the floor to play and was summoned back and then goes back to her spot on the sidelines. Tipped over by Ottoman. Little shove over by Wiggins, but Wiggins into the net. Sanchez serving. Sophie Sanchez, as I mentioned, one of only two players to have played in every set this year. Cameron Brown the other. And now Gwen Wynn gets in. Well, I haven't thought about in a regular season game having an all-names team. You know, that's for those tournaments and that kind of stuff. And it's unofficial and has no significance anyway, but if we were to name an all-names team today, how could you not put Gwen Wynn on that team? Served up by Sanchez. First touch by Stewart, and Stewart eventually socks it into the corner. Molly Powell back into the game to serve. Wynn, by the way, has been in 12 matches and 14 sets. Getting some playing time on this Tuesday. Floated over to Martin. Bumped over to Brown. Back over to Wilson. And that is blocked by Wiggins. Saints 5 away from going 11-0 in three-set matches. 19-4 on the year and 9-1 in the conference. That will drop in the corner. Martin thought it was going to go long, but it drops in the corner as an ace for Powell. Powell with 7 aces this year and tacks one more on there. Sanchez first touch. Back over to Alleman. Two-handed set driven down the line by Stewart. And again, serving is Powell. When these two teams met in Andalusia. There were 7 LBW aces, 3 Coastal South aces. Wilson blocked by Smith. Molly Powell again on the serve. Martin there first. Brown sends it skyward. It's still over, though. The free ball able to get there is Stewart. Sanchez able to get a hand on it. Back over to Alleman. Drives it cross court and goes low. And we are at set and match point. 24-9 with Molly Powell serving. Brown with a set to Wilson, and Wilson just a little bit low. And that is it for your volleyball here at Jack Robertson Arena. 3 sets in 3-set matches. Saints now 11-0. Coyotes now 4-9 at home. Coyotes 4-7. Their overall mark 7-13. Their conference record 2-7, and with that loss, they are now mathematically eliminated from the possibility of postseason, which means that your Final 4 are determined in the South. Don't know exactly what order yet, but we do know that LBW, Enterprise State, Coastal Alabama North, and Bishop State are in. And the season still has some games left for Coastal South, including one more here, and we'll be here for that one. Pearl River on the 30th. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. We will see you Friday at a couple of locations pretty close to one another. Fairhope for St. Michael's and Daphne for Bayside Academy football. Until then, have yourselves a good one. For all the folks with Coastal Alabama South and JockJive, I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.